We're early again.
Early, smurly.
Something looks wrong. Maybe not. I don't know. Looked like the sound was delayed. Might be. Sorry, we're a little early. 7 minutes early. Just screw with Joe.
He's not gonna know.
He'll never know.
Like, what the hell?
He's gonna jump
What's
on
going
like
on?
right now and be like, "Fuck! I gotta get in there and get my number one." Welcome, Tyler. Welcome to our podcast, Tyler. Welcome everyone else.
You can see our pool in the background, basically.
Yeah, you see up in the above Tyler there, that the ambience there, that's the pool. It's a very nice pool in the background. It's beckoning us. We got to get all this podcast equipment into the pool. Seriously, you set up a little fucking table in the pool, and we'll just broadcast from there. We could just get extra long cords and shit. No biggie. Be fine. There's no worry about electrocution or anything like that. Welcome if you're catching this now, or if you catch it very soon. This is our podcast. We're going to talk about CBS canceling The Late Show. About fucking time. Ugh. Stephen Colbert, sorry, buddy. You're the first of them. Wait till we talk about some of the numbers and stuff when it comes to that show. Very funny that it actually carried on this long. It just goes to show, like, they didn't need to make any money. It's obviously being funded somehow by someone with deep pockets. But we'll talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about the Trump deepfake AI video that has him basically, I don't know, sitting watching Obama get arrested. It's pretty stupid. He posted it to his Truth Social, so that's the whole narrative now is, oh, Trump posts fake video to his Truth Social. You know, like he didn't know. He just didn't know he wasn't there. He didn't know that didn't happen, I guess. So we'll talk about that. And we're going to get into a nice, long, deep discussion about the way women see men. And, and kind of, I don't know, all the nuance that goes with men and women dating and all that kind of stuff. We had a nice little talk today that I think we should carry on into the podcast. And inside of that, we'll kind of, we'll throw we got a little X post that we want to read and discuss. So we'll kind of couple that into that. If you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe to the podcast. I feel like I'm not talking to anybody right now, but do it. If you watch this after the fact, just fucking subscribe, okay? There's no limit. I don't know. Is there a limit to how many things you can subscribe to?
No, I don't think so.
No. So just subscribe. Doesn't matter. You don't have to watch us. It's fine. Just subscribe. And like, comment, all that kind of shit. Get to the comment section. We're just waiting on a couple commenters that will jump into our comment section soon. And sorry that we got started early, but also fuck you. Too bad. Because our time's important to us, and Tyler got here a little early, and I didn't want to wait. Okay. And we were going to try and get the 3D printer, which is right there. We were going to try and get that going, but I couldn't. I don't have any.
You don't have any stuff.
I don't have any.
You'll put stuff in it.
Yeah, I don't have the stuff. I don't have the spool of plastic shit that you have to use to print something. So hopefully next week, if Assad over here, Mr. Techie guy, can get off his game long enough, we can maybe get that going, which would be pretty cool. I'll order the stuff. You have to set it up, and then we're gonna print out all kinds of weird stuff.
Weird
and wild and wacky stuff. All right, let's just get into the first thing. Joe will jump in and then whatever. Not this one. Let's do this one first. I should change the order of it. Let's pop this up. Here, bang.
There it is.
There it is. So finally, Stephen Colbert is canceled. He's the first, hopefully not the last, of all these dog shit late night talk show They're not even late night talk show anymore. They're late night propaganda outlets.
Basically.
So,
they're not even funny anymore.
I know, exactly. They're not funny at all. And they're all spewing out the same fucking bullshit. It's all Trump all the time. Let's joke. There you are, Joe. Let's just joke about Trump. Like, come on. It's tired. And they lose a lot of money. I'm going to read this article a little of it. I'm not going to read a lot of it because we know I don't like reading articles. But let's just pause this bullshit. Nice pause. Look at that. Look at a good face pause.
I can barely see it.
This is from The Independent, so don't expect much. Jimmy Kimmel lashes out at CBS for canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that's what this article was. Jimmy Kimmel chimed in. At least this time he didn't cry, probably.
He might have.
He might have. Actually, he might have. Fucking idiot.
Like everybody else, you didn't watch the episode.
That's, true. You know what? I don't watch any of this dog shit. Jimmy Kimmel has come to the defense of his fellow late night host. The only reason why he's coming to his defense is because he knows he's probably next. Following the announcement that CBS has decided to cancel The Late Show, about time, the network confirmed on Thursday, July 17th, that the long-running franchise would come to an end, describing the host as irreplaceable and citing a financial decision. Yeah, you're losing $40 million a year. I'm pretty sure that's a financial decision. I don't know. Let's just continue to lose $40 million and pay Colbert $16 million a year to run a show that's losing $40 million a year. Where are they coming up with this money, man?
USAID.
It must be. It's got to be something like that. In response to the news, Kimmel, who hosts Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC, another dog shit show, sent his support to Colbert in an Instagram story. The 57-year-old wrote, "Love you, Steven. Fuck you and all your Sheldons, CBS." Oh, that's funny. Kimmel's words appear to be a nod towards the CBS show The Big Bang Theory, which has spawned several spin-offs, including Young Sheldon and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. I haven't heard of any of these things. I don't watch network TV, though, so probably you don't either, I'm guessing. So, whatever. Bunch of different bullshit shows. In a joint statement to CBS News, Paramount and CBS bosses said The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will end its historic run in May 2026, not early enough. At the end of the broadcast season, we consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if this partly isn't due to the fact that Trump sued him and won.
Well, I think it's because Colbert criticized the network for settling the suit.
Yeah.
I don't think he won the suit. I think they just settled.
They settled. Well, that's a win.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between winning a court battle
of course,
and the company just paying you.
Yeah. Money's money, and a win's a win. Whether you won technically or you got the other side to quit, which a settlement is really like that. It's really basically saying, look,
they just know that they're not going to win.
Yeah, they're like, look, nobody was going to win this. Even if we did win, we still got to pay. So they don't. These late night talk shows, as I said, are just a complete fucking. Just go back and watch. Honestly, go look at clips of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson back in the 80s. That's when it was real. It was a real fun talk show. Like they would criticize everything equally. It was like everything was getting slammed and it was jokes. And
closer to modern day podcasts because everybody was, all the shows were competing for views. Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They actually had to compete for everybody's eyes, and that's what everybody was doing. But now people aren't, people are more and more not paying any attention to what's happening on cable.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't even know what they're doing.
Like Joe said, you make more on this podcast than Colbert makes a year. It's true.
Nice.
We actually make like $40 million more.
Yeah.
It's great. we're in the black, man. We're not in the red.
See, Stephen Colbert makes a lot of money.
That's true.
The show.
Yeah.
On the other hand.
I don't know. I wish somebody would pay me for nothing. Since high-speed internet and YouTube, late night shows, and network TV are geriatric. Well, yeah, exactly. Nobody's watching. Nobody, like I just said,
increasingly elderly.
Yeah, like I just said, who actually watches late night TV anymore like that? I mean,
I think their demographic is quite literally mostly 60 plus.
Which is weird to me that they didn't pivot earlier. You know, like it just screams that they didn't need to pivot because the money was coming in. didn't need to make any money, so they just kind of went, okay, fuck it, let's just keep doing what we're doing, and maybe that well's
And
run
the
dry.
old heads that are like, no, this is what works, so we're doing that.
Yeah.
Not, being willing to acknowledge the changing tide.
Well, you kind of hit maybe a nail on the head when you said about USAID. Maybe
Some State Department funding.
maybe there was some
coming
funding.
through.
Yeah, some funding got held up, and they're like, enough. We got to cut. We got to cancel this.
It might be more that Colbert criticized the network for settling.
Yeah.
Because that is like, from any business perspective, no matter how political you want to be or propagandistic you want to be, you can't be sued, be obviously in the wrong so that you settle, and then have individuals within your network coming out very publicly and arguing that you shouldn't be doing that, or trying to argue that what was said was actually proper when it obviously wasn't.
Right.
It's like, you're just a liability. What's Stephen Colbert going to say that's going to get them sued again?
Right. Yeah. Well, big sellout. He sold out a long time ago. So I mean, well, $16 million will make a lot of people sell out. So I don't shit on him.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'd sell it. I'll tell you what. I'll say whatever the fuck you want me to say on this for $16 million a year. I was gonna say something crude, but I'll refrain. Nobody's paying me, so.
Can't get it out for free.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get on to the next thing here because we're gonna have a long discussion. I like that. He said he stopped typing. Joe said he stopped typing. Wasn't gonna stop typing mid sentence because you got it out before him. It's the problem with typing, brother. It's
Too slow.
Too slow. You got your one though, because Robert, we lost Robert for the last couple weeks. I think he said something about being on vacation or holidays or something like that. So that kind of makes sense. All right, let me plop this thing up here. Oop. I'm not even gonna record this one because I'm not gonna post it. For 16 mil, I would only do it for a year and be set for life. Well, would you? I'd do it for a couple. I don't know. I'd do it until they stop paying me the 16 million.
See how hard it is.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would sneak in little Easter eggs in there though. I'd let people know that I was full of shit, that I was just selling out. And then the minute I got out of there, I would tell everyone, yeah, I just sold out for the fucking money. So who cares? That's what I really think. All right. Well, anyways, so this next one we're talking about here, Trump posted this AI video of Obama being arrested, and it's they're jumping all over it. They're like, oh, he's posted this fake video and it's Truth Social. It's kind of funny. Includes the YMCA, the Village People song YMCA in there. So they're jumping in it. Yeah, so Donald Trump has posted a bizarre AI video of former President Barack Obama being arrested and thrown in jail. Trump's still mired in controversy over his administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. We just got fucking shadow banned right there just for saying that. Posted a TikTok clip on his Truth Social platform on Sunday, in which the Democrat is seen declaring in a rally speech that no one is above the law. He is then seen being handcuffed by law enforcement during an Oval Office sit-down with a grinning Trump, created using real footage of the two men meeting at the White House in November of 2016 when the Republican was president-elect and Obama about to leave office. It's funny. I wonder how many people watched it and went, oh, my God. Oh, wow. I can't believe he's being arrested. There's probably still people out there right now going, wow. You see that video? See that video? He got arrested? Yeah. So the YMCA was played in the video, so the Village People are getting into the mix of it, and it's kind of a whole little fun thing. But they're gonna run with this now. They're gonna run with the whole misinformation of him posting it on his Truth Social, because that's what you do if you're the Demon Rats. I don't want to read any more of this. It's kind of bullshit. What do you think? What do you think about this?
I think they might arrest Obama.
Maybe if it's like what do you call it? Like Simpsons. Maybe actually somebody should look to see if this in the Simpsons if something like that happened. Because did you see that on the Simpsons? There's an episode where they did something like that video of the CEO guy at the Coldplay concert. Yeah, there was
that might not have been real because they've been now with the AI and stuff, you can make things that kind of like take a video,
Let's
but
see.
make it look like it's the style of The Simpsons or other cartoons. Like there was I don't know what it was called, but there was a style that went viral that people were able to put pictures in, and the AI would
Simpsons.
put it out pretty perfectly.
Predict. What do we call it? Coldplay. Oop. Let's see what Snopes says. Oop. False. Snopes says false. Okay. All right. Well, you gotta trust Snopes for sure, though. But so yeah, it says no. Anyway, this says no. Let's see if somebody else says no. I'm not sure what I think of Snopes. Times Now. What the hell? Screen rant. Let's see. What do you guys have to say? Debunked. All right. Well, fair enough. Didn't happen. Simpsons do predict weird shit, though. The whole escalator thing was fucking wacky. This would be pretty wacky if they actually did this, but apparently not. That's too bad. I wanted to believe that one, but debunked. All right. Anyways, fair enough. We missed a bunch of shit Joe's saying here. You wouldn't know what to do with that much money. I would know what to do with that money. You could just keep giving me endless money. I'd know what to do with it all. Invest $1 million, live off the dividends. Yeah, well, sure. But you could live better off of $10 million. The dividends off of $10 million or $20 million.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm kind of over this AI shit on Trump's page. It feels like it's something cat turd should post, not the president. I don't know. Honestly, I think he's doing that as a distraction.
No, he's doing it in tandem with them opening an investigation into Obama.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, everything's like distraction away from the Epstein
they're investigating
stuff,
right? Obama to get you to stop looking at that, but the video is in line with what they're doing.
I like that. If Snopes says it's false, then it's got to be true.
Typically.
I know, that's why I had to look somewhere else.
At least for politics.
Yeah.
For that stuff, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, weird shit. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this. I don't care. Let's what I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about the men and women, the dynamic. We were okay.
It's a real home math conversation.
Yeah, just to bring you up to speed, Joe, and anyone else that may or may not watch. We were working earlier and we were talking about, some stuff personally related, and we got into a whole discussion about like dating and men and women and what women think of men now and how they view them in general in society, stuff like that. It was a good conversation. I thought, I was thinking when we were having it, I was thinking, fuck, this is where like it should just be videotaped. Like somebody should just be there shooting the podcast when we don't know that they're doing it, because then we get the good organic conversation that I want. But anyways, to bring it back to speed, do you want to do that, or do you want to start with this? Do you want to start with that X thing first and kind of?
We can start with whatever you want.
All right.
Really
Let's just
that much.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. I was kind of saying, this is my point anyway. I think that women now, especially, okay, so if you're looking at everything encompassed, I'm going to try and like kind of pinpoint it a little bit, because we'll talk a bit about dating in general, like online dating, things like that, and just dating in general. Online's kind of the way to go now. There's not a lot of in-person organic shit that goes on anymore, but I had said, my assertion was that basically women online because there's so much, there's too much choice for women. They really don't give that much of a shit when they're online. What's that?
They're commoditized.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to say it. And because I don't know if you wouldn't know this, but you'll know now if you're listening. Tyler and I, there's a big age difference. There's an 18-year age difference. So I was saying, a guy like him, if he's looking for girls his age, they're probably, just as equally or sometimes more inclined to look for a guy like me because they think I've got status. I'll have something to offer them. They can take from me. Whereas Tyler, in their idea, that he wouldn't, because he's a younger guy. He wouldn't necessarily have status, nor would he be willing to share that status necessarily.
See, that's interesting. I don't necessarily think that that's
spider,
the case.
by the way, over there, fucking with me under the.
There's a spider. Well, I don't
You
want
see
to
him?
see it.
It's fucking
I
with
don't
me.
know that that's necessarily the case exactly, because it's how the data bears out. Women do, like, men. 22 is the age for men. All men of all age groups universally will rate a 22-year-old as the most attractive.
Mm.
But women are very consistent. Like, a 25-year-old women rate roughly 25-year-old men plus or minus 2 years as the most attractive group all the way through. If they're 45, they're ranking the 45-year-olds. So I think it's just more, there's a degradation in the culture to where you have a lot of women who are prioritizing, they're going after stuff more than anything serious. And they have access to it.
Right.
Even if you are dating within your age group, a reasonably attractive woman can pretty easily find a man of their own age, especially if they're in the 25 to 35 age range. They can find a millionaire to have sex with.
Yeah, to have sex with, sure. Yeah.
You're not going to lock that guy down,
right?
Because that guy's having sex with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Because they all want to have sex, but they all think that no, I'm gonna convince him that I'm the one, right?
Yes, Joe. Yes, he is. Yes. It's the tail end, but he's there.
28.
So you can do the math to say where I'm at. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think it's more degradation in the culture, that there are more women who care way more about the material world than they do about, like, morality or values, or actually finding somebody to ultimately start a family with, and all that.
And that's why my point, that's why I think a lot of them would look for an older guy, because they're just looking for the status. They don't give a shit about starting a family. They don't care about any of that. They want to be taken care of. You see these girls that do these sugar baby fucking bullshit, where they're trying to get a guy to pay their bills and stuff. So they're looking for all that, and they're looking to sort of get themselves to enrich themselves when they're young, because they're kind of being taught that, I think, in some way. Like, culture is kind of teaching them that you don't need a man. Yeah. So they look at this and they go, I don't need a man. I want to be a boss bitch. And part of that is, how can I use
all these people on social media kind of posting this way, like all these girls? Yeah, I think a dumber girl will go on social media and they'll see these girls on some of these clips, where they say, like, I could only date a guy, like, he needs to make at least $1 million a year.
Yeah.
At least $1 million a year.
That's always hilarious.
Maybe I could settle for 500,000. And a dumb girl looks at that and is like, that's what's acceptable.
Right.
They don't even necessarily have the context. They don't understand, what the average income is, how rare that level of income is. They see that it's out there, and so they're like, oh, well, I should deserve that because that's the best. Whereas if you go back 50 years, surrounded by you, your only real exposure to, like, celebrity and immense wealth was through, like, TV, and a lot of it was fictional, because you're seeing it on just shows where someone might be depicting a rich person, or it's in, like, a late night show where you're seeing the guy and you just happen to know that the guy hosting the show is making obscene amounts of money.
Right.
But in their real life, the best thing that they would find might be that that rugged guy working at the local factory, because that was a good job with a pension, benefits, yada yada. And he was making enough money that they could afford to start a family, buy a house, start a family, have a car.
On his income.
That was the best that was available. Yeah. So, like, that guy was attractive. But now it's like, you go online, the guy that's worth $100 million, he's not available literally, but you see all of them. Like, you see that all over the place. And so it fucks with your mind.
Yeah.
If you're on the dumb side.
Well, Joe was talking about a thing too that I was getting to, the idea that they do this, they're doing this when they're young, and then they hit a point where they go, so let's just sort of build a timeline here. Girl is single, she's in her early 20s, early to mid 20s, something like that. She's looking for this guy, this fucking near fictional guy who makes north of $1 million a year.
They usually say, what is it, 6x6 or 666?
Oh, 6 feet.
6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's more like 667.
Yeah,
there's like 6 feet, 7 figures.
Yeah,
6-pack.
Yeah, but so they're looking for that. Some will find it. The hotter chicks say that live in places like Miami and stuff where the guys are kind of like, they're frequenting because they're fun party spots. They'll find a guy like that. They'll get on his Rolodex where he's just, pounding them, and they'll think they might mean something to this guy. So they'll spend a little time doing that. They'll get into that sort of that sphere, if you will, that trap where they're now like, kind of being tossed around a little bit. And then they get to like 28, 29, 30. They've got a high body count now. They realize that it's not working, and they try and settle. They try and find somebody who maybe wants to have kids and all that kind of stuff, but they're fucking stupid. Now they're all messed up. Or maybe they got even unluckier and they got a kid or two from two different guys or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they've got two baby daddies. Yeah. And they're looking to settle down with a guy, a good earning guy, a good guy that will just take them and take care of their kids and everything. Yeah. And good luck.
I saw a chick online say something that I think is very wise for a woman to say. There are these women popping up who seem to be smart, who have their head on their shoulders, who are trying to encourage women to like make the right choices, and like warn them against going down this path that feminism kind of tells them to go down. But what she said was, a lot of people have this mindset that the grass is greener on the other side. Mm-hmm. So like you'll jump ship from relationship to person for tiny things a lot of the times. Or it's like, they're like this and I don't like that, or they don't make this much money, or I don't, whatever. I pick a thing, I don't like it, I'm gonna move on. And what she's saying by the grass is greener, I didn't say the thing that she said. She said the grass is greener where you water it, and there's not necessarily any grass at all on the other side.
Yeah,
and the point smart. Is like, I think the ultimate fantasy for a lot of people is to find somebody when they're young, and then to build that life together and encourage one another to be the better versions of themselves. And then you get to watch each other in your 20s and in your 30s grow.
Yeah. And
then you see them achieve these things, and you see it together, and you get to be a part of that, rather than, just kind of, finding somebody who's already there.
Yeah, who's already established, doesn't need you in any way, and feels like you might be trying to take from them.
Yeah.
They're trying to protect what they have.
Yeah, if you're with somebody the whole way, and like you're that supportive role, and then they actually get somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're not going to feel like they're taking. It's like, look at Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. Look at Joe. He says six figures, 6 feet 6 inches was claimed about 20 years ago. Yeah, well, now they want 6-pack. Yeah, well, now they want 9 inches.
The idea is, they want
6'9".
massive income, top 5% size. You're 6 feet tall, and like top 1% physicality.
Yeah,
to be fit.
We just think about that when you couple them all together. What is that? What is that guy? He's probably in the top 0.01% or less.
Rarer than that. They have it. They have the calculator that the street interviewers put these numbers that they ask these girls, like, what are you looking for or whatever. Yeah. He's got to be at least 6'2". He's got to make at least this amount. And I'm pretty sure the app only goes as high as like $500,000 a year. Yeah. And some of these girls, like, gotta make at least $1 million. The app doesn't go that high.
Let's just settle for half.
Like, so there's 4 of these people in all of the United States. I'll find him.
I'll find that guy.
Him, and he'll fall in love with me.
Yeah. That's all I ever wanted. I just wanted a modest life with an attractive wife and a few kids. That's all I dreamed when I hit 30. Well, I mean,
Well, see, that's the problem is losing hope when you hit 30 because as a man, you have all of the advantage in this if you can kind of barrel through your 20s, the gauntlet that is your 20s when dating as a man.
Yeah.
Because if as a man you get yourself, you know, you get yourself in shape, you get yourself set up with a little bit of resources, you're not on a biological clock in the same way that women are. Like you could still have healthy children like at 50.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get to 40, and if you're in the upper percentage of like fitness and you've taken care of your finances and you've got your life set up, now you're that guy that all those girls that wouldn't even look at you want.
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity to start a family because you can sort through and find the 25-year-old that actually wants those things, pick her out,
Gizzo.
give her that fantasy.
Hey, finally, shit.
Oh, I've been here a couple weeks.
Yeah,
A month or so.
No, more than that. I think this is like the 5th or 6th show or something. So like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks. So yeah. What's up, Gizzo? Yeah, he's back, buddy. He's back. He came back for you. Yeah, it's the way I look at it now is the online thing. So when I first started dating online, it was it wasn't as corrupted. Now
even when I started, it was different.
Yeah, it's now corrupted. It's now just a swipe mentality. People are just swipe. So it's more like
commodities.
Yeah, you kind of have to get through a lot of tarred bitches. There are a lot of tarred dudes too. I mean,
found
just
that
not
quality ones tend to fall through, but I don't even know anymore what the ratio is.
Yeah, but the whole idea of like what women are sort of looking at men as ruins the whole thing, and feminism screwed that up.
The OkCupid study from however many years ago, and I think it's been repeated a couple of times. It shows that women rate 80% of men as below average attractiveness. And so we know this is a uniquely female issue because men rate on a bell curve.
Mm-hmm.
So, men are being realistic and logical in their ratings, whereas, women are not. And then they'll justify it by saying, well, there just aren't attractive men. But the reality is it's just more you're asking for too much. Essentially, your expectations are too high.
Yeah. But the basically, I don't think, for one, I think because women have been perverted into thinking of men as a different thing than they used to. They're looking at men as like, instead of being like provider and a partner and all that, they're looking more like, what can I get from this guy? I want like it's a weird shift in a way because
women will have a roster.
No, but it's a weird shift in a way when you look at it. They want these. They're looking more for like physical, whereas back in the day, women weren't looking as much for physical as they were looking for a guy of means to be able to provide for a family. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, oh, now I want the guy with the 6-pack, and I want the guy with all the money, but doesn't want the kids and stuff necessarily right away.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of women are kind of lying to themselves in their 20s that they don't want kids.
Yeah. Oh, they are 100%.
When they turn 30 and they're like, fuck. And this is why I think it benefits men more than it hurts women and benefits men. Well, no, okay. It benefits smart people, whether you're a woman or a man, because it's harder for women because you start life at the top, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, you're the most valuable when you're young. So it's harder for you to be smart and recognize that and utilize it. But if you have this abundance of like opportunity in the dating market early on. You can parse through it and find, if you can really sort out what you want, you can find what you want, you can get it, and you can have it. And by 25, you could be married with 2 kids, with the house, like, happy.
Yeah.
And so it's harder for women because it's harder to be smart by then. For men, we start at the bottom. We're the least valuable when we reach adulthood. So it's a little bit easier for us to gain intelligence and figure it out And like I just said, then if you spend your 20s kind of building yourself up in, multiple ways, there's many ways that you should be doing that. And then you get to the end.
Joe's saying things that make me laugh. Find a 22-year-old Pajit woman, and there's enough in Canada. Yes, you're right. There's a ton of them in Canada. Look at our immigration in the last couple of years. No, you're 100% right on that.
Women nowadays will find themselves going through their 20s saying they're not looking for anything serious, or they just want to, have fun. I'm just a girl. And then they get to 30 and now they're becoming less attractive and they're not getting the attention they used to, and their biological clock is running out and they don't have somebody in their life. Like feel like they got to rush to get kids if they want kids. And if they really spent their 20s sleeping around, that's a whole other metric that now a lot of guys are going to be like,
yeah,
I don't want to touch you.
Well, look what Giz was saying there. Said, I've never fucked with online dating. I'd much rather just pay for it outright so we don't have to conversate. You know what's funny? You make a really good point.
A lot of guys are,
because a lot of guys are moving that
way,
direction. Yeah. And you're looking at now with like the whole weird thing with AI and such, and this idea of these AI bots and like robots. If they get good in some way, that might just be enough for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Where they're like, fuck this. I'm not going to deal with a real woman who's got some
serious issues,
fucking issues all out her ass. Like this is where we kind of have to correct society, where we have to correct the culture and society, where we have to say, look, listen, we have done enough now with hyperfeminism and shit to screw up the dynamic between men and women, and we should be trying to go back.
I think this is a woman's issue.
Yeah,
I think because it takes the older generation of women to be spreading this message to the younger women.
Yeah.
To make any change, because I see that on the male side.
Yeah.
I see very little messaging from the male side of older men saying to men, to be complacent, don't, just like all of the messaging I see is be masculine, focus on yourself, like build yourself up, and like, get in shape, get a good job, or like try to build up some money. All these things that are ultimately going to make you more valuable and attractive as a person. There's more of that coming in, but a lot of the messaging for women is like, you're the prize, don't change. What is he going to do for you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know anything.
I'm a 10.
Yeah.
They're all 10. They're just all 10s. Yeah. All girls are 10s now. Fuck, man. What they don't realize is that we're out-sciencing you. Yeah, like we're basically, if you don't watch out, I say this all the time. I'm like, you're getting replaced if you don't watch out. Like, women should be doing everything they can to, number one, just crush technology, like kill technology. Because if we just figure out, we've already kind of figured out test tube babies. I mean, shit. Like, if we just figure out a perfect incubator, which we kind of have in a way, then what's the woman necessary for in that regard? Listen, I love women, so don't get me too whatever on this, but I prefer a natural human woman over anything else. But even with the crazies, but a lot of guys won't. A lot of guys will be like, fuck it.
It's not even about preference. It's once it's good enough. It's if you don't have access to that.
Yeah.
Here's your alternative.
True.
That's good enough.
True. And like Gizzo said, though, I mean, how many guys are going to be just of a certain means to be able to just say, nah, you know what? I don't need the headache of, almost like the Pretty Woman. You've never seen the movie Pretty Woman, but almost like that scenario where basically what he does is he finds a prostitute for the one night, and then he says, what if I give you a bunch of money, you stay with me for the week? And then she kind of plays girlfriend for him. And yeah, but a guy that has tons of means, why not? He's like, shit, I'll just have a week. I'm sure there are a ton of women that do that. Like that's their kind of their job. They have guys on the Rolodex where they're playing weekly girlfriend or whatever. Or you're in town for 3 days, I'm on your arm, you know? And they look good. They're top-notch women, like looks-wise. You know, not one that I'd necessarily touch because I'm sure they're taking a lot of dick, but yeah, it's going to serve a purpose, right? It's just going to serve that need for many, many men. And unfortunately, that the biological need to, couple up and have kids and have a family and all that, since it's being crushed and distorted and destroyed, a lot of men are going to say, fuck it. I don't need it.
Yeah, it's not worth it anymore.
Right. You can be of any means to buy a woman. It's a matter of how good do you want them to look. Yeah. I mean, if you got tons of means, they'll look fantastic. They'll look the best. I mean, some of these women, I'm sure that are high class prostitutes or call girls or whatever. I'm sure they look amazing. These guys have the kind of money to pay for it, and they're getting all the right work done. Anyways, but Gizzo gets the $5 Friday specials. Aw,
walks into the bargain bin.
Yeah, I think Gizzo is of means. To be honest, I think Gizzo's got some piñons. I think he can do what he needs to do. I don't know if he's still here, but yeah, it's to get back. The way that women see us, men, obviously, is completely wrong now, and it's not getting any better.
It's anti-human.
It is anti-human. Yeah, not looking at us as proper.
As people.
Yeah, well,
basically
as the other half of a perfect dynamic. Like realistically, the man-woman coupling.
Masculinity and femininity go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, which I just had earlier. Actually, it's delicious. All right. Anyways, let's. I want to read this article that you think. So we're gonna go off a little side tangent here, talking about like online dating and stuff. Will kind of gives us a little bit of a segue into this sort of post, which I don't know fully. I didn't read it or anything.
This was going viral a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but so Tyler told me about this just before the podcast, and I kind of want to read it and discuss a little. So here it is. Okay, this is what if alt-hist? That's
Rudyard Lynch.
What's that?
Rudyard Lynch.
Oh, okay. I'm not on X, admittedly, so I don't really know these channels.
YouTube channel.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Been big for a while.
Ah, well, there you go. I've been living under a rock for a while, maybe. Here it is. Okay, so this is pretty important. But if you want to stay sane, you'll have to gradually start weaning yourself off the internet. Besides obvious stuff like work and music, furthermore, you should probably start isolating from the society itself. You need to start building psychological insulation from the society in order to avoid going crazy, since practically everyone is going crazy now. That includes every major country and every major faction. There are different varieties of insanity, though. Many skies carry different sorrows. However, they all carry their own sorrows. The entire internet is going through a mass hysteria and mass delusion event right now. It's not going to end soon and will likely get significantly worse. The public has lost the ability to maintain basic objectivity or casual logic. We are entering mouse utopia, so plan accordingly. It has nothing stopping it from spiraling into utter madness. They're consumed with rage to a degree where they look for any excuse to hurt others. There's no support or love. It's pretty disgusting. At the time, people say, or at the same time, people have no other grounding, and so they just believe whatever the mob says uncritically. They can't differentiate their personal opinions from what the news or collective zeitgeist is. They become part of a hive mind without realizing it. We're in the middle of a sort of strange mass hypnosis event where we've been lulled into madness by the monotony of highly strange context. Starting now, if you want to survive or win, you have to start separating your own frame of consciousness from the internet and the world. You can't be in a state where whatever is on the news is the predominant thing in your internal monologue. It's just going to keep getting worse, so you have to unplug now to gradually train psychological independence. I will warn you, the weaning off from social addiction is a legitimate emotional and psychological withdrawal. It's unpleasant and may give you physical symptoms, but it's not too bad, all things considered. You can do this in a handful of ways. Firstly, just consuming less online media. There's not much that's good out now. So this is sorry. This should be easier than it sounds. My eyes are starting to go a little weird now. I'm not saying complete abstinence.
Take over.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just finish that spot here. But rather not consuming to the degree it becomes your internal monologue. Start there.
Put the mouse where it is.
Yeah, right there.
You need a distinct internal monologue. The singular best thing you can have there is faith in God and the ability to create a separate grounding from the culture through God. Maintain your code of honor to the death. You could talk to your friends and family, but they're also possibly mentally ill, so that's not surefire. You should speak to the general public as little as possible. You should read books from different eras of history so you have knowledge and wisdom distinct from this individual moment. Develop hobbies, go outside and knit. I don't care, just do anything that's not hooked up to the news cycle. I did this a few months ago, and it's allowed me to see what's going on now with detached horror. It's a difficult process, but after a little bit, your life acclimates. You learn to realize since everyone else is addicted, there's nothing else to really do besides the internet. You have to gradually build out your own psychological state of independence from the culture if you want to make it through this. Probably comma should be there.
Yeah.
Since the culture is going to keep getting worse. Once enough of us do this, we can start forming institutions and communities where we can live healthier and more sane existences. This is just momentary pain. It's not easy, but we don't have a choice. You must always hold the iron bar, knowing that this is an uncomfortable situation, but you are always ultimately responsible for yourself before God. You always have the ability to exert self-control. I think there's a little bit more here. Time is in some ways an illusion. This is just a moment of suffering. Decades from now, we'll wonder why we ever worried so much, since there was truly nothing to fear. Our descendants might be ungrateful punks who assumed this was a way easier area than it was. They will grow bored of hearing of our stories. The fears and terrors of this era will pass like water on a rock into the future. Decades from now, we'll think we've had it all figured out, but that will just be a moment too. Life is a series of moments, but the higher man is capable of seeing each moment to see it within context. You can choose not to think the thoughts of this era. You can listen to old music, read old books, or watch old movies. Remember what 2015 was like, or 2005. Remember how sane you were back then. Try to be as sane as you once were. You could choose to disengage from this moment. We all follow our own destinies, which we cannot escape, but we can rise to meet whatever fate lies before us. We must face it, and that's all that can ever be said. Sincerely, Rudyard William Lynch.
Jeez.
And then he just adds, for those asking, I'm doing fine. This has actually been a great month for me, and I'm really excited for the future. I do see it as my duty to look after you guys, and so when I'm worried, I try to be as blunt as possible to wake people up. You should be scared.
That's funny. It reminds me of we call it Jerry Maguire, the movie Jerry Maguire. He does at the start of the movie, he does this this manifesto type thing or whatever you call it. I forget what he calls it, some kind of statement or whatever. And he releases it to everyone about, like, you know, because he's an agent, about like having less clients and being more connected to them and all that. It ends up, it's the whole catalyst of the movie, what blows it up for him. He gets fired and all this shit. But it's kind of like that. It's like one of those rants where it's like you're reading and going, "Ooh, this person's suffering." But it's funny that he adds that little thing at the end there. I'm not suffering. I'm fine. But
I think he's right.
Oh, I don't know how you could disagree with that. Honestly, it's you could disagree with parts if you want, but the spirit of the whole thing is I think it's proper. I think it's completely poignant. I'm old enough. Like, I mean, it's a little different for you.
He says, think about how sane you were in 2005.
Right.
In 2005, I was concerned about my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
2005, I was a little younger than you are right now. So, yeah, like, so I'm in my mid to late 20s in 2005, and I'm like, shit, this is I don't know. It was just, I look back now and I think about the way things are now and the things that you're focusing on now, and
a lot of it's nothing.
Yeah.
Meaningless.
Back then, there was just more connection. I felt more connected to people.
More people, but
because like you would reach out to people and talk to people differently than now. You just send a little text or like, you know, a little Instagram message or whatever the fuck whatever thing you're using, and you barely connect at all. right? It's just
Yeah.
almost like
I
keeping
think,
somebody around.
I think we do a pretty good job here with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, like what we'll do on the weekends at the pool or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really, I didn't think about this until like reading or until like right this second when I started thinking about it. So yeah, we don't really, we'll talk about stuff, but we're not really sitting out there with, our group of people talking about the news.
Right.
Like we might bring it up. How did you hear this? Yeah, we heard that. We're mostly talking about like personal, kind of more broader life stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why we've talked about it. Tyler and I have talked about this with the podcast, that we're going to start to see a little bit of a drift away from news and topical shit, more into this kind of stuff, more into discussions of,
The broader culture.
yeah, and deep discussions into things.
Bigger zeitgeist stuff. Like,
yeah.
Um,
It's kind of the way we started the podcast.
Like the economy, but not from a political perspective of like a communist versus capitalism, but more from a perspective of like young people are struggling, who can afford a house anymore, like what are people doing?
Right. Well, the interesting thing about the dynamic between you and I is there is a generational difference. There's a whole generation of age difference between us. So like I have a perspective that you don't necessarily have, and you have a perspective that I'm too, obtuse to see right now. Like you see things different than I see them, because I'm still painting things with the brush of my youth, where I'm looking at things differently. It's the whole thing. Like, this, Joe, but that we do construction. So I always say to people, I'm like, when I'm doing something, if I'm building something, I'm building a kitchen, I'm building a whatever, I'm doing a house, I'm renovating or whatever, I don't notice it as it's happening because it's gradual to me, right? So I don't see when people go, wow, and they look at something, they go, wow, it's so much different, and like it's beautiful or whatever, and I'm like, okay, like cool. I know it's different because I'm aware of the fact that it's different, but viscerally, I haven't really seen it because I'm gradual in the process. It's the same with like the internet. It's the same with like the societal change and the cultural change. It's also gradual to me, that most of it goes unseen, except for things that are really fast. Like, for example, like the immigration in our area, right?
Yeah.
It's just, you can't not see it. You see it in everything. So it's hard to not see that because it's so fast. But all the other gradual stuff, the internet, I mean, it just kind of feels like it's always been there to me, even though I know it's not. Like, so it's a weird sort of thing. And it always has been there for you. Like realistically, from awareness, from a real awareness, it's always been there.
The only difference is it went from being in a spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's at the computer in your house to
now it's in your hand. It's attached to your hand.
It did transition from like, because I would have had an iPod Touch for 4 years or so before I ever got an iPhone. So like at first it's like it's in a spot on the box, and then it's anywhere within the house because you have Wi-Fi, or anywhere you have Wi-Fi, but there's a lot of places you don't. And then it's just it's there. It's you have always.
Yeah.
So I like lived through that transition, but that's the only transition of the internet that I dealt with. That and like how it changes, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you could actually use Google to like find stuff. And
it's
now
true.
It's like so heavily curated that like a lot of the internet is almost just locked off.
I was showing you the thing last week. We didn't talk about it, but about Macron, his wife, the French, whatever. Is it president, premier?
President, I think.
Is it
Prime
president?
Minister?
Is it prime minister? It might be prime minister. Anyways,
okay.
His wife, that there's talk about being that it's a man, she's a man, but I don't know if I believe that at all. Like I'm just whatever. I just keep my head.
Weird without that. She's like she was his teacher, I think.
Yeah, but anyways, try and type that into Google.
That's not coming up.
It doesn't come up at all. It gives you nonsense. It like fills in words and gives you nonsense instead of predictively typing what you're obviously typing. It's bizarre to me. Like, so it's clearly doing a thing where it's so weird to me. It's like it would liken it to like if you came to me and you said, "Hey man, can I get a beer?" And I went, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, we're walking towards the fridge, And you're like, can I get a beer? Can I get a beer? And I was like, just distracting you and still trying to distract you right there when you're asking me for a beer and trying to hand you like a 7-Up. And you're like, that's not a beer. Like, what are you doing? I said a beer. Are you stupid? Can you not hear? I'm saying a beer.
Yeah.
Like, that's what like Google's doing to you. It's like, you meant 7-Up. You meant coffee. Oh, you meant Bernadette.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a Bernadette. Doesn't make sense, Google. I was just, life is going too fast. Things are going too fast, and that's, I mean, as these phones get more and more advanced, as as we get less and less physically connected to each other in physical space with each other, and we're more on like online and in virtual space with each other, we're just going to suffer. We're just going to completely, it's going to make us think less and less of each other as humans. And that kind of like gets back to the whole, it almost circled back to the original conversation with women looking at men. And it's not going to get any better now. Like, why would it? I mean, unless you change it, but I don't see how it changes. Now. We're going down this path.
Consequences have to start, piling up that people start changing because there's actual consequences. But how long until that boils over and there's a cultural shift?
I mean,
we're only really just kind of starting to get the opinion news stories of a 35-year-old woman who's talking about like how she can't find anybody, no one will date her. Guys that used to line up for her won't even look twice at her now, and the guys that are interested are like way below her standards. And it's like, yeah, well, you spent your 20s focusing on your career, not focusing on dating and what you really want, and you blew it all away, and now you're not as attractive as you used to be, both physically because you're getting older, but also because you've probably racked up quite a body count. And women really don't know how off-putting that is for men.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if people always say like double standards. It is a double standard.
No, it isn't.
No, I'm saying like it should be a double standard that women shouldn't have high.
But I don't think it's a double standard, because it's a double standard would be like a different opinion for the same thing, but it's not the same thing. The reason it's such a different thing.
But I'm saying if you're to look at it as the same thing, if you're saying high body count just in general, I think a man having a high body count versus a woman having a high body count is not the same at all. It's just not. I think the majority of people would agree with that. Only the hoes wouldn't. Only the ones trying to defend themselves.
Even they agree with it, and that's why they're so desperate to defend it.
I think the worst right now, the thing that I'm noticing now, and I've never noticed it before, but suddenly I'm seeing it a lot, is the women that are going online and talking about breaking off of good marriages and good couplings because their needs weren't being met or something stupid. They say something innocuous like that.
Arbitrary things.
Yeah. And they'll say, oh, but this guy is perfect. He's like, he loved me and he was taking care of me and I have 3 kids with him and he was a great dad.
List of all the great things about, my husband.
But I left him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that is
I don't know if that happened more than we realize.
Thing in society now.
What? Yeah.
Like it's almost like a mind virus.
Well, hypergamy is a thing in women, so maybe it is like that. Like they see all this stuff all online, and then they realize that they can still, maybe they're 32 with 3 kids, but they've taken care of themselves, so they can still have sex with a high value man, and they feel like because they can go online and get a guy to have sex with him who makes, double, 3, 4 times the amount of money as their husband, he's taller, he's more muscular, that means that she's capable of actually pulling that man for marriage, which is the hypergamous aspect. And then, so she wants out of this because she thinks she can get that. And I mean, it seems to always bite them in the ass when they do it, though.
It's the grass is greener thing, right?
It's the grass is greener, yeah.
Yeah. So then you find out, you're like, oh, fuck. I thought there was grass over there.
There's not even grass on that side.
Turns out there was a big dick.
You had a pretty nice lawn that had you maybe seeded it a little more, and gave it some extra care. You know, because this is the other thing that people don't necessarily think or realize is like you can like get a lot just by subtly encouraging your partner to be different in the ways that you want. Like if you want your man to be stronger, you can get him to fucking lift weights. Like it's not that hard. It's maybe hard if you try to be demanding about it, but there are ways to do these things and encourage these things and then reinforce that behavior.
Yeah.
And then boom, a little bit of watering, and now your husband looks more the way you want him to look. There you go. There's one thing.
Yeah.
You want him to get a raise at work or something, so you encourage him to do this or get a better job. So that okay, maybe now he's got his resumes out there. Boom, he gets hired somewhere. Now he's making more money. A little greener, right?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. Instead of, I need a new person for that.
There's the weird thing that goes on where people try and use shame and
Guilt
and like threats and all that kind of stuff to
Yeah.
get someone to do something. But that'll work sometimes in
Yeah.
a small way, and it might get like
It'll
the
build
knee jerk.
resentment, probably.
Yeah, it might get a knee jerk response and like a knee jerk reaction where somebody's like, okay, well, I'll start, and they start doing something, but it'll never really last. The only way you build that would be through reinforcement, through like, like positive reinforcement. You let someone know, like, shit, yeah, you know what? Like, if any guys listening, and you got a lady who's a little, whatever, she's had a couple kids and she's a little out of shape and stuff, and you want her to change. The best way to do it is
Do it together.
Yeah, you do it together, and then when she's doing stuff, you tell her how beautiful she needs to look. Whether you're full of shit doesn't matter. You like one day she knows.
Acknowledge the changes.
But she knows even after like one workout. Let's say you're like, wow, I can really see something in your butt and whatever. She might know logically that you're full of shit, but she still likes to hear it.
Yeah. But you can throw it out there too. You
Yeah.
know, she weighs in 5 pounds less than last month.
Yeah.
Just comment.
Yeah.
Make a comment like, hey, you really 5 pounds? Well, you do look a lot better. Stuff like that. That's that reinforcement. But doing it together, I think, is a big one too.
I like what Joe said here. There, just go full on Sodom and Gomorrah if we weren't over there.
That's one way.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're probably if you're a Christian or Catholicist or whatever, if you believe in the Bible and stuff, you probably think that we're going that direction right now as it is. I don't want to get into a religion conversation right now. We should do that at some point. We'll have a whole religious thing on the podcast. Religion is fucking cool. Like if you really delve into it and shit, it's really cool. Whether you believe it or not as a thing, like as a whatever, as a life creation thing or whatever, it's still cool. Like the stories in the Bible and shit are still, if it wasn't, put it this way, if it wasn't wrapped into the creation of man and the way we're supposed to live and such, you'd still think it's they're cool stories. Anyways, but I digress. We're at an hour and 3. Let's call it. Good discussion, buddy. Thanks for being with us, Gizzo and Joe, being in the comments. I noticed a couple of people jumping in and out. The viewers were jumping a little bit, so some people were in there and not saying anything, which whatever. Just get in and say hi. If you're gonna watch, just say hi. Let us know you're there. Say something cool. You're probably thinking some poignant things to say. Just say them. Jump in the comments. But if not, whatever. I wish you would. I heard losing my religion on the classic rock station and never felt older. yeah, I know. Oh, listen, man. I don't like to tell people how old I am, but it is what it is. Anyways, thank you for watching. Anybody who did, and you guys obviously being with us. Join us next week, 7:00, same time, this channel, 7 Eastern Standard Time for the live show. And I will drop probably 2 clips this week. I'm going to drop 2 clips, just so you know. During the week, you can look for those between Tuesday and Sunday. I don't know which days I'm going to drop them for. At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, like, comment, share, all that kind of stuff on those. It's the best way to support the channel. And if you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. That's that'll help us know that the channel is still active. We're still we're still not sure. We're still not sure if it is or not. Like I said, there are going to be a little bit of changes. We're going to change the channel up a little bit. We're going in a different direction, getting away from the news and politics stuff, and more into the esoterical and long form discussion like we just had. So
Not necessarily esoteric.
Well,
Definitely we'll get into esoteric, but
we
the
will,
idea is the main focus to be like the opposite esoteric, the broader zeitgeist adult conversations.
We always get into esoterical stuff, though, at times. We love it. We can't help it. But anyways, yeah, he's right. That's where we want to aim it, but we will still end up.
It comes up tangentially.
Yeah, we'll end up getting into some stuff. But again, thanks for being with us. Yeah, we'll see you next week. See you, Joe. See you, Gizzo. And I guess see you, buddy.